him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-ma-gob, it's time for the only news that matters. And John Corabi reflected on the drama he witnessed during his time in Motley Crue and admitted that he felt like a huge weight had been lifted off his shoulders when he found out that Vince Neil would be returning. The early 90s weren't kind to Motley Crue as the Hollywood outfit suffered a fate similar to those of the hair metal bands during the rise of grunge. Ironically, the Crüe would release an absolute kick-ass album. Actually, it said banger, but I said kick-ass not album, not banger, because I'm old school. An absolute kick-ass album, and exactly around that time. But the combination of the era's culture climate, lackluster promotion, and the fact that Vince Neil wasn't on the 1994 Motley Crue album was severely unappreciated. It would be the hair metal icon's first and final LP with John Corabi on vocals, and the singer tells Rock Daydream Nation in a recent interview that part of him was relieved to be leaving the band when news of Vince's return came. The subject arose as Corabi was asked whether he saw any of the Crue's infamous drama firsthand, to which he said, "There was so much drama in that band and turmoil. And so when they told me that they were bringing Vince Neil back, there was a huge part of me that was bummed out and kind of upset. But there was another part of me that felt like somebody was like, I felt a 300-pound man was standing on my shoulders. So I was actually relieved at the time, if that makes any sense at all. Yeah, there was shit that was going on at the time. And it's funny, now this interview is going to come out and it's going to go global and everybody's going to say, God damn it, he's talking about Motley again. Doesn't this guy have anything better to talk about? And asked whether any of his former bandmates attempted to keep him in the band, Corabi said, I don't know. I found out later that they had been secretly meeting with Vince, and the whole time that they were meeting with him, I was kind of under the impression the record label had said to them, this guy, Doug Morris, basically said, you need to bring back Vince. Get rid of that guy. He didn't even know my name. He was like, get rid of the new guy and bring Vince back. And they never really said that to me. They didn't tell me that till the very end. But I know from that point when we had all flown to New York, this was even before we started doing what became the Generation Swine record. Fuck, it was probably a year and a half before. And I was getting that, there's no way, Crab, we're never bringing that guy back. No way, dude, no way, dude. And then in the meantime, they were meeting with him and taking meetings and trying to work things out. And I think they were keeping me in the back pocket in case it didn't work out with Vince. Which, to be honest with you, I get it. That's a smart thing to do. And while Corabi's era might seem uneventful compared to some of the other parts of Crue's career, the singer notes that there was definitely drama in spades. He said, there was just so much drama with these guys. I would work out in the morning with Nikki Sixx, and he would talk about Tommy Lee and Mick Mars, and then I would go hang out with Tommy to write music in the afternoon, and he would talk shit about Nikki and Mick, and I was living with Mick's guest, in his guest house, so I would come home at night and I would sit there and have a drink with Mick, and he would talk shit about Tommy and Nikki. I was like, oh God, it's impossible to keep up with all this bullshit, And so when they told me, hey, dude, Vince is coming back, I was bummed. But like I said, it also felt like someone took a 300-pound man off my shoulders. Reflecting on with playing with Motley Crue, Corabi said, the funny thing of it is that if you watch the movie The Dirt, they make it look like the band was playing in a high school gymnasium, to like 20 people while I was in the group. And it wasn't that way at all. Yeah, we were playing like 10,000 plus arenas, but we were selling maybe 4,000, 5,000. So we were doing maybe a quarter of half of an arena. And even that, with that 3, 4, 5,000 seat people, the response was great. Singing Shout at the Devil or Primal Scream or Wild Side. The audience was into it at the time. And it was fun. It was cool. The one sore spot concerning Crüe's live shows was the song Girls, Girls, Girls. Corabi said it was one song I refused to sing, which led to his first clash with Nikki Sixx. He said, that was our first argument with Nikki. I said, I'm not singing Girls, Girls, Girls. I won't do it. And he was like, it's one of our biggest hits. We got into an argument, and then Tommy intervened on my behalf, and he said, dude, if he ain't comfortable with it, he's the one that's got to sing it. So we'll just pick something else. We don't have to do that song every fucking tour. So we did Wild Side, and we did Shout at the Devil, and we did Home Sweet Home, Primal Scream, and I can't remember what else. Oh yeah, Livewire. All right, yeah, interesting interview. Corabi always gives really good interviews. And every time he talks about Motley Crue, it's always different, And you can tell he's being honest. 100% honest. Because, look, the bottom line is Motley Crue is a band that became huge when they were very young. Those guys have lived in a bubble. Look at Vince. He lived in such a bubble, he only did 30 days in jail for, vehicular manslaughter, So, they're delusional. We're gods and this and that. And, by the time they were doing the 94 album, Nicky's ego was so inflated because, they had a #1 album and, they were, riding high. And with his huge ego, he thought, hey, man, I am the songwriter of this band, and this band is still going to succeed without Vince because of my songwriting. Which, if you listen, when I listen to his songwriting on 1994, it's like, oh my God, this is like a crowning achievement for Nikki Sixx. What he wrote on that album, what he co-wrote, whatever he did. That 94 album is chock full of really kick-ass cool songs. I mean, I remember when it first came out, I freaked out. I thought it was fucking amazing when I saw the Hooligan Holiday video. I was on board for Motley Crue. Unfortunately, it didn't come to South Florida, so I never got to see that lineup live. But my God, I remember in 1994 me cranking the hell out of that Motley Crue self-titled over and over and over. There was a while I was running around saying, you know what, that's the best Motley Crue album, fuck you all. But now it's like, nah, fuck you too, Ralph, because Shout at the Devil's their best album, but man, this album right here is the best damn Motley Crue album since fucking Shout, if you ask me. It's fucking awesome. It's an amazing album. Uncle Jack being my favorite track. I love Welcome to the Numb. It's like Aerosmith on steroids. Beautiful song, Drift Away. Oh, Misunderstood. Power to the Music. Damn, Smoke the Sky. What a ripping, kick-ass album. But that album knocked Nikki Sixx down a few pegs because, he didn't want Vince back. He wanted to succeed without Vince, but he was forced to bring Vince back. And then when they bring Vince back and they do this weird album, Generation Swine, where they're trying to stay current, and it just didn't work. So what does Nicky do then? Even swallow more. You know, fucking humble pie. And he released a new tattoo. Now, I like that album more than most people, but it is totally him trying to be like, all right, let me go back to being the hair metal guy that I was so against, you know, during the Corabi years. You know, he'd get offended if you lumped them in with Warren and Poison and stuff. But what does he do? He writes a Warren and Poison album. That's what it is. But it has some good songs, I think. But then it has some of the worst songs. Like fucking Treat Me Like the Dog I Am. What the fuck is that about? You know, Porn Star, First Man on the Moon. A lot of crap on there. I like the ballads on the album. And the one that wasn't released called American Zero. I like those ballads. And I like the song Fake. That's about it. Oh yeah, White Punks on Dope. Great cover. Then the last one I bought, Saints of Los Angeles, had to be the worst out of all of them. Yeah, I'll take fucking Generation Swine, every album, over Saints of Los Angeles. That album fucking blows. And everything they did after, there's dirt songs and, you know, the Beastie Boy, whatever, canceled EP. Fucking garbage. I mean, beyond garbage. You know, it's already forgotten. Nobody gives a fuck about it. And rightfully so. Because it sucks. I know some of you like it, and that's cool and all. But I think it fucking blows. What's your opinion on this whole thing? And are you shocked that Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee would hide the fact that they were talking with Vince? Oh, and Mick Mars as well. And then tell them, no way, Crab, we're never bringing them back. Yeah, Nikki Sixx, what a bullshit artist. But anyway, what's your thoughts? Leave it in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell and like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Motley Crue 1994 and smack 'em on gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.